Welcome. Welcome everyone in the room, but also the people watching from the live stream. Tonight will be filled with awards, lovely people, but also a good portion of active learning. Again, welcome. My name is Wart van Belle and I'm a student from Ghent University, and together with the ENLIGHT live band, I will guide you through this evening. So, let us start this evening by explaining what ENLIGHT actually is. I have a nice definition. The ENLIGHT Consortium was created to undertake a fundamental transformation of European higher education that empowers learners as globally engaged citizens. One way to do this is by using active learning during your course. With these awards, we want to spotlight the different courses that have done a great job at using these techniques. This way, they can ultimately be used as an example and a future reference for other courses. Let us also look at the selection process, because I can assure you that it was no easy one. First, every university had to choose one course that did an excellent job at using these active learning techniques. Then, a jury read every course and then ranked all courses. Then the highest ranked course got the most points and the lowest ranked course got the lowest point. At the end, all courses had a total amount of points, and the top voted course will win tonight. So, during this evening, sorry, my apologies. Let's get just started with the first nominee of tonight. Let's look at spurring engineers with a mat of data, an activating approach to linear algebra.
It is about linear algebra, a course taught to hundreds of engineering students at our university each year, and especially important nowadays because of its applications to modern data science. Last year, instead of the traditional approach with lectures and problem sessions, we decided to take a more activating approach with pre-recorded lectures followed by discussion time, electronically graded quiz questions, and problem sets based on conceptual understanding and future applications.
I would say the most innovating are exactly suited to the thing we want them to do. So, for example, these pre-recorded lectures, they're the best way to give an overview succinctly of the theory and to engage the students' interest. And then valuable lecture time can be used for problem discussions instead. And then the different kinds of quiz problems and hand-ins can be used to check different levels of the students' understanding. So at the end, the students would have a solid conceptual understanding of linear algebra that they can later apply.
When planning the course, think about the situations that your students will be in and adapt. In our case, we had to teach online because of COVID to a large group of students who are majoring in a different subject than mathematics. So this poses certain challenges for the students, and we try to organize our course in a way to help the students meet those challenges. I think this was really appreciated by the students, and it motivated them to do their best.
Even try to show us how good they are at their course by filling the white and black boards behind them with difficult math equations. Trying to impress the jury, I see. So, I think it's about time to... I'm sorry. I think I think I really hurt my toe there. I'm sorry. Is there by any chance a doctor in the room? Okay, I'm all fixed up, and I even have this nice band-aid right now. So, let's take a look at the next nominee from the University of Bratislava, from Comenius University, I mean. with the course The Basic Principles of First Aid.
Well, our submission is all about how the Simulation Center and its team handled the teaching of the first aid for newcomer faculty. It is all about the hands-on experience for newcoming students to the university. And I would say that the most important message is that behind all of these biology classes, biochemistry classes, there is a human being whose life is the most important value. And they keep forgetting about this in the first year, these are our students. So we are showing them why they decided to become healthcare professionals. All right, to be honest, I don't think there is an innovation, in fact, because the first aid was always been taught using simulators. However, was there similarity to those we are using now? They were very simple, yet they've been mannequins. The innovation, perhaps, it is in the way we teach, because we teach it since day one. We use a lot of feedback, and we use a lot of debriefing methods, and we also allow peer-to-peer learning / teaching in our facility that works perfectly. And who decided to go for it, and this is the best motivation what we can have as a teachers and instructors. If somebody wants to do something similar, we can only encourage them. And we suggest to think out of the box. Do not be scared to do things differently, and do not be scared to like it. That's all.
All right, so don't be scared to try it yourself. I think I'm going to put that advice to good use. Because this morning I woke up with a question in my head, and I think you can all help me with the research needed to answer it. The question I woke up with was, apples are the most superb fruit on the planet. And I think that you can help me, because everybody who agrees with me, please stand up. Okay, no friends of Apple in the room, I see. But maybe our next nominee can help me with this question. Let's see the video from Groningen University, Practical Introduction to Research Methods.
This proposal reflects the idea that high-quality relationships are fundamental to effective student learning and support. In our course, we use a combination of peer mentoring and learning communities to establish and maintain such relationships. In doing so, students learn more readily from the peer mentor and from each other. We also find students also more readily approach peer mentors and fellow students for support. Through this first-year course, we therefore not only promote the learning of research methods, but also ease the transition to university.
The most innovative aspect of our program is the depth of the training we offer to the peer mentors. We empower them to be the best version of themselves when facilitating learning and effectively managing their peers in the learning community. How do we do this? With a multidimensional approach. They learn from us and from each other how learning works, how to coach diverse groups, and how to provide effective feedback. We constantly review and innovate our program. We plan, for example, to introduce motivational interviewing in order to further promote positive change in our students.
While our peer mentors are in a uniquely influential position, they require in-depth training to optimize their positive influence in students. For example, they need to know about group dynamics in order to establish and sustain the learning communities. They need to apply inclusive teaching strategies to promote effective learning for everyone. Also, they need to be guided through the self-reflective processes to strengthen their own and their students' agency.
I agree with Liga. In my session on motivation, I learned that it's very important to be a good role model. And to be a good role model, you have to promote a sense of similarity. And I do that, for example, when there's a hard test or something coming up, I just say like, okay, well, if I can do it, then anyone can do it. And it also creates a nice sense of trust.
So maybe I'll check in with you guys for a better research method after the show. But I think it's about time for a small break and to introduce some more active learning into the show. Let me check in with you guys, how you guys are doing. So I'm here with Ger from Uppsala University. So Ger, please tell me, what are your first, second, or even third impressions of Ghent?
Thank you for asking, actually. It's very kind of you. I've been here before a couple of times, and been a wee bit chilly in Het Pan before. But I think I can speak for a lot of us in the room who come from sort of older university towns, old buildings, water running through, madmen who are side bicycling and trying to hit you at every corner. I feel very much at home here, quite simply.
Thank you very much. I'm also here with Anne from Bordeaux. Please, Anne, tell me, what are your first impressions of Ghent?
Thank you. Well, from the little I've seen, I could simply say that it's a very inviting place, and people here are at the image of this welcoming place.
Thank you very much. It's great to see that you all are all enjoying Ghent. Speaking about Ghent, let us take a look at the next nominee of Ghent University, Mechatronic Product Design.
So my submission is about my course. I teach in small product design, where last year students work in interdisciplinary teams in order to tackle innovative challenges that come from different external stakeholders. The goal of the course is to learn students to go through this iterative design process, starting from a one-slide challenge and ending with a innovative product which will be demonstrated with a working prototype and an inspiring marketing movie. But in most cases, more recently, I'm very happy and proud to say that they don't end there. The prototypes show up in musea, in festivals, and recently even different startup companies are started from these student cases. So for me, the most innovative part is that the course itself has also been a very iterative design process in which we as teachers learned that because we have a lot of fast changing technologies that we want to teach, we don't focus too much on the content, on the knowledge transfer, but it's actually the process, the way we teach and how we coach the teams that's very important. So that's why we started to act more as coaches, trying to inspire, trying to support, and trying to motivate the students, which also resulted in much more intrinsic motivation. So the students were very happy with their own results along the way, and that also showed a very much higher learning effect. The learnings from this course have led to a recipe that I like to share with others. And this recipe is building sandcastles, has different ingredients, but the most important ingredient for me is here, learn to fail and learn from failure. So don't be afraid to try new things, take some risk. That's how we learn the most and can be very creative.
Don't you think that it's just great to see how that if I had time that I would like to follow every one of them. But sadly enough, in this show, we have no time to rest. So let's rock on with the show.
Rock, 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 rock and roll high school. Well, I don't care about history. Rock, rock, rock and roll high school, 'cause that's not where I wanna be. Rock, rock, rock and roll high school, and I just wanna have some kids. I just wanna get some chicks. Rock, 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 rock.
Our next nominee took the multicultural aspect of ENLIGHT to a new level. They did not stop at teaching the students, but instead started by teaching the teachers to create an intercultural prepared course. Let's have a look at the nomination of Göttingen University, Virtual Intercultural Training for Teaching Students.
My colleagues encouraged me to submit my online seminar, Virtual Intercultural Training for Teaching Students, in which students from Göttingen get together with students from our partner universities to talk about intercultural competencies in the context of teaching and education. It was created in 2019 in cooperation with my colleague Sandra Yev from Tartu University and had 7 iterations so far. One aspect which my students frequently stress is that instead of dealing with the topic theoretically, we also actively engage with cultural diversity in the classroom. We had students from Tartu, Uppsala, as well as other partner universities in Brazil and India joining us, often in mixed constellations, and this led to great and amazing conversations. Another important factor is that students share their own experiences and perspectives and can work on topics that they are personally motivated to from the field of teacher education. There is a lot to be won by incorporating colleagues and students from a partner university into your course. This can be done to different extents, and it's okay to start small. In our experience, it was a big motivation for the students to participate and engage in the seminar. And there is amazing support by organizations such as Uni Collaboration or Erasmus+, as well as the experts for virtual exchange within the ENLIGHT network. I want to thank my colleagues from Göttingen University, as well as the partner universities, for their support in making this seminar possible. Thank you very much.
That we are about halfway the show, I would like to invite 2 of the organizers of next year's conference to the stage. Please welcome Marie and Olwe from Göttingen University.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to all of you, and we are very happy to be here. I am Apurva, and this is Marie, and we are student representatives from the University of Göttingen.
Yeah, hi, and since we're all here today, we would like to invite you to the conference next year. It will take place in Göttingen, also in November. The official date is not released yet, but you will find this out via a newsletter or at the website. And we both are very much looking forward to welcoming you and seeing you all in Göttingen next year.
Thank you very much for the invitation. So I think it's about time to, I'm sorry to ask this, but I think I lost my phone. Could anybody please call me? Phones. We use them so much that we often see them as an extension of ourselves. The next course took this as an advantage and used the sensors inside our phone. Let us look at the nomination of Bordeaux University. Smartphonics, from autonomous do-it-yourself lab work towards collaborative and peer learning experiments.
So this project is about an experimental course called Smartphonics in Science for first-year students. Here, students perform experiments outside the lab rooms, on campus, or at home, using their own smartphone. Using the sensor inside their smartphone, for example, the accelerometer or the light sensor, their smartphone is transformed into a real mobile scientific lab. This smartphone course has reached more than 350 students per year since 2016, and it involves 11 teachers from a variety of labs. So by developing new resources, we have transformed the student's smartphone, something that is normally used to chat or surf on the internet, into a real scientific labs to do experiments at any time and anywhere. This radically changes the way we can teach experimental science. Furthermore, students follows a research-based approach, similar to the approach we are doing in the labs. And during COVID lockdown, we were able to continue this pedagogy by doing a lockdown experiment with students in weekly online experimental session. During this session, we were promoting collaborative analysis, student creativity, motivation, and boosting their experimental skills. My first point is that doing smartphone experiment is not difficult. It's definitely worth to try it. Just need to download an app to have access to the sensor, and you could try. Do not hesitate also to watch the video we have developed. A MOOC has been specifically developed for that. My second point would be that it's really interesting to give students the chance to be creative and in a research-based program. So as a teacher, you need to balance freedom and creativity with a clear pedagogical scenario.
Our next nominee really wanted their students to see the result of their hard work. This was done by working together with real-world partners. When the students finished the course, the final result was implemented with the help of these real-world partners. Let us have a look at this year's nomination from the National University of Ireland, Galway, Remaking the Creative Arts Canon, Reimagining the Creative Arts Curriculum.
Our submission is about a project that involved partnering with creative arts organizations to give our students new skills and new knowledge that allowed them to stage and perform and publish work by neglected Irish artists, particularly neglected Irish women. This project culminated in the creation of a Festival of New Work, which was an online event in which students staged plays, they produced documentaries, they curated exhibitions, they hosted debates, and much more. The most innovative aspect of our submission is that rather than teaching students about a problem, we gave them the space and the time to set about solving that problem themselves. So for example, 2 of our students worked on the transcription of a score by a neglected Irish composer. And that work has now been included in the library of the Contemporary Irish Music Centre, which means that it's available for the future for anybody who wants to look at that score. So in examples like that, we see that by working together in collaboration with professional artists, our students engaged in challenge-based learning that has an impact on our communities and on our society. And they also got to work across disciplines, students in film and music, drama, literature, and digital humanities, all working on this shared project. Our one tip for colleagues who are interested in doing something like this is to embrace partnership in a spirit of openness. This project continually evolved due to the input of professional artists, but also the students themselves. And this created an ongoing feedback loop that allowed the project to keep changing and evolving. As happened with a lot of people, our plans changed suddenly due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. But that turned out to have unexpected benefits because it allowed us to adopt a much more open and improvisational approach to what we were doing. Students, staff, and other contributors were literally making it up as they went along in this project. And that freedom to be creative was unexpectedly liberating.
From real-world problems to real-world questions. Time to implement some more active learning into this show. Time to implement some more active learning into this show. Could I please ask you all to grab your phone and go to the WooClap website. That's www.wooclap.com. There you can enter the code you see at the top, ENLIGHT 1. I'll already read the first question, but you can do it easily, and then you will have the time to vote for the correct answer. So the first question is, which candy is a famous Ghent neuske, or in English, the Ghentian nose? Is it the first picture, second picture, the third, or the fourth picture? You can now start voting.
It's a rainy afternoon in 1990. The big city. Geez, it's been 20 years. Candy. You were so fine. Beautiful, beautiful girl from the north. You burn my heart with a flickering torch. And I had a dream that no one else could see. You gave me love for free. Candy, 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 I can't let you go. And all my life you're haunting me, I love you so. Candy, candy, I can't let you go. Life is crazy. Candy, baby.
Okay, so I think about everybody has voted. So it was indeed the first picture that was right. But did you know that the rivalry between the different stalls that sell the neuskes is actually so big that they often sabotage each other's stalls? In Ghent, we take our candy very serious. But let's go on to the next question. Question 2. Which animal fact about Ghent is not true? Is it A, Ghent had its own zoo at one point in time? B, the well-known rabbit species, the Flemish giant, was originally called the Ghentian giant? Or C, goats are used as natural grass mowers in the city of Ghent during the springtime? You can now start voting.
I don't know much about history. I don't know much about biology. Don't know much about the science book. I don't know much about the French I took. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this could be. La 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 la. History. Biology. About the science book. About the French I took. And I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this could be.
All right, it's a tie. Well, in fact, the answer that was not right is answer C. But thank you all for your participation, and hopefully you've learned something new. For your info, Ghent had indeed its own zoo until 1903, when it had to close due to a lack of visitors. But today you can still see where the zoo was, because all the street names in the area are linked to animal names. Also, the Flemish giant did indeed originate from Ghent, hence why it was called the Ghentian giant. However, we don't use goats as natural grass mowers. It is indeed a group of sheep that help us with that job. But our next nominee from the University of Tartu can hopefully tell you something more about animals than we can. Let's have a look at the next course, Invertebrate Zoology.
and I teach subject of invertebrate zoology for the first year bachelor students in University of Tartu. In my opinion, the main challenges and opportunities for the course are both related to the fact that this is an extremely extensive subject. In total, there is around 1.5 million invertebrate species described, and so, it is more than Estonia has inhabitants. So in teaching such a vast material in introductory course, there is a strong disposition to either remain superficial or to go too much into the details and lose the big picture and also students in the way. So we have tried to always retain the big picture nearby in the form of phylogenetic tree of animals that serves as a kind of graphical abstract of the course. And the tasks during the lecture, including the student presentations concerning certain invertebrate species, serve as kind of periodical dives to more into details of invertebrate lives. So I would think that home reading and active participation in the lecture, which are tested in the online trivia game concerning the topic of the particular lecture in the end of each lecture seminar, is probably the kind of innovative item. So students themselves provide questions for the game, including those students who give us short presentations during the lecture. This setting has the potential to encourage students to learn more about the topic already before the lecture and participate more actively in the lecture while minimizing the stress related with poor performance in the test. So then the topic is, of the course is extremely broad and diverse. A kind of lifeboat or spy may be handy that presents the essence of the entire course and can be returned anytime during the course when one feels of getting lost.
Of course, ENLIGHT isn't only about the teachers, it's also about students. So let's find out what the ENLIGHT Award means through the eyes of a student. And let's do this with the help of someone from the ENLIGHT Student Network. Let's go to Sarah Helze. Okay, so Sarah, please tell me, what does ENLIGHT embody to you, or the ENLIGHT Award?
I think it's really good that we recognize, the value of being together and this active approaches. I think it's really good for students to anchor the study matter more deeper in themselves. I think it's really good, and to exchange good practices between universities and to show what we're doing and learn from each other. I think it's super valuable.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for this approach. Now, after taking a deeper look at the ENLIGHT Award, let's dive into the world of blue economy.
Under the sea, down there it's better, down where it's better, take it from me. And not on the shore, they work all day, out in the sun, let's slave away, while we devote to full time to floating under the sea.
So sadly enough, it's already time for the last nominee of the evening. The University of the Basque Country, with blue skills for the development of the blue economy in the Basque Aquitaine cross-border coastline.
This submission is about the Ocean I3 project, an educational innovation initiative involving both the University of the Basque Country and the University of Bordeaux. Our university is a university facing the sea, and we want to involve students to work together to take care of this sea and to find solutions for the problems that have arisen over time. The Ocean I3 project is an interdisciplinary project where staff, students, and professors from a wide variety of faculties, they work together with social agents, aiming to contribute to the reduction of plastic pollution on the Basque Eketen Transboundary coast. The project is based on the pillars of learning, research, and sustainability, leading to an inter-university, interdisciplinary, multilingual, and multicultural intensive training course. The students develop cross-disciplinary skills for sustainability by getting involved in real challenges set by social actors from the Basque Eketen cross-border coastline related to the issues of plastics in the sea. The training schedule uses participative learning dynamics so that in their team, the bachelor and master students, they can jointly define the scope of the challenge or problem, design feasible, specific, and measurable proposals in a collective and interdisciplinary way, and 3, offer results such as action plans, studies, prototypes, or specific interventions. In Ocean I3, the students, teachers, and social actors, they all benefit from taking part in this extended community of knowledge and intervention. We've got real agents, real problems, and real solutions. So the project constitutes an authentic and significant learning environment for students because it makes them set goals where they must use their know-how and experience and where their decisions and actions are reflected and leave an actual impact on the well-being of the sea. My tip would be to work together with a wide community, so including from the part of the students, both master and bachelor students, but also teachers, agents, and also research groups in order to take care of all the additional issues that arise in such a project. In our case, that could be the multilingual environment and the development of cross-disciplinary skills in the case of our Ocean I3 project.
As I explained earlier, or tried to explain earlier, each member of the jury scored each course. Then the total points were summed up, and based on this, a ranking was made of all the universities. I will now announce, in no particular order, the top 3 universities. I would also like one representative of each university to join me on stage and sit in this comfortable couch. Give me some music. So now, in no particular order, first, University of Groningen. Next, the University of Bordeaux. And last but not least, Ghent University. If you want. So first, let me ask you all 3 a small question. What does this recognition mean for you or your university?
Yeah, it means a lot to the university. We place the students at the centre of our teaching, and it's nice to see that it's recognised that relationships are fundamental to effective teaching. If students feel they're a part of an authentic, positive, close relationship, they're creative, take risks, and enjoy learning.
So this is really important. It's really a way to encourage us to collaborate more with other universities, to share pedagogical practices. So it's really great.
Yeah, I'm very happy that it's being recognized that being a bit different and doing things different and being able to fail sometimes is even can even be rewarded.
Thank you very much for these answers. Of course, an award show isn't an award show without an award. And our award of the night, visible here, was made by the Ghentian artist, Miss Nadine de Meestere. Let me explain in her own words what this award embodies to her. Again, a text. ENLIGHT not only aims to exchange and increase knowledge more easily, but also to make people an eternal student. This collaboration ensures that new doors can be opened. With what view do we approach this new potential world? Do we zoom in and or zoom out? What are the two possible functions of the binoculars? Daring to think is impossible without daring to look. Who dares to zoom out to gaze, to distance themselves, to leave well-trodden paths and thereby give uncertainty back its place within the scientific world? Isn't it just the uncertainty that leads to more potential knowledge? The award reflects all this. It is the eternal student who enters the world of uncertainty with conviction with the gaze, the binoculars as an instrument. The main challenge lies in handling the binoculars for which they are not intended, daring to distance yourself from the things that seem to be obvious at first sight. Can I please ask Miss Nadine de Meesters to stand up and the rest of you to give her a big applause? So now, to announce the winner of tonight, I would like to ask our Director of the Department of Educational Policy, Professor Ilse de Bourdeduy, to come to the front. All right. So normally there will be a third place, a second place, and a first place. But tonight there is no third place. Professor Ilse de Bourdeduy, could you please announce who the winner of tonight is?
So, the first ENLIGHT Teaching and Learning Award goes to University of Groningen.
So before I ask a few questions to you, you can, yes. I'll try to read to you what the jury thought of the two runner-ups. So let me first start with Smart Product Design from Ghent University. Smart Product Design from Ghent University was a strong example of how creativity and openness can foster the emergence of impressive student projects. Moreover, it nicely demonstrates how the teaching philosophies of a teaching team can shape the outcome of a course. This proposal stands out for its interactive character and challenge-based approach. Students benefit from the stimulating methods and receive much feedback, which enables them to create and explore the possibilities of their own work. About Smart Phonics from the University of Bordeaux, the jury had to say the following thing. This convincing didactical design fully addressed the award criteria of peer learning, active teaching, and use of feedback. Overall, the jury was deeply impressed by the scholarly approach that is used to continuously monitor, reflect, and improve the course. Surely, this approach can inspire others to do the same. Thank you. So now, two small questions for the winner of tonight. First and foremost, where are you going to put the award?
I'm going to share it with my colleagues on the course, and we'll probably share it every 2 months. Pass it round.
Okay. And the next question, would you like to thank anyone or someone?
Yeah, I'd like to thank our manager, Jose Heersink, whose original idea was to implement peer mentoring and academic learning communities into our curriculum. And I'll never forget when she invited me to be part of the coordination team. Teachers, students, teaching students, that'll never work.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, we also have a small present for the two second place winners, because it wouldn't be Belgium if we would not hand out chocolate. So for the second place, we have a nice box of chocolates. Here you go. And here you go. Of course, this evening would not be possible without the help of some people, and we would of course want to thank them all. First and foremost, the Department of Educational Policy, in particular the team from International Relations Office and Educational Quality Assurance Office. Also, the members of the ENLIGHT Teaching and Learning Conference Board and all the others involved. Also, the students and the teachers of the nominees of tonight. Also, Annelies behind the screen from making this show possible. Of course, I would also like to thank the nice ENLIGHT live band. And last but not least, everybody in this room. Thank you.
Help me escape this feeling of insecurity. I need you so much, but I don't think you really need me. And if we all stand up in the name of love and state the case of what we're dreaming of, I've got to say I only dream of you, but like a thief in the night, you took away the love that I knew. And light my fire. Your love is my only desire. And light my fire, 'cause I need. And light my fire. Your love is my only desire. And light my fire, 'cause I need. Oh, I need your love.
And now, the most fun part of every conference, I would like to invite you all for a small drink, a small bite, and maybe a chat about active learning in the reception. Thank you all for coming.